Welcome back, guys. I hope you had a nice break. I hope you maybe got a little soda out of the refrigerator. Maybe you were surfing Reddit. Maybe you clipped your fingernails. I don't know what you were doing during the break, but
maybe playing some AI for the new quest.
Yeah, maybe
killing 30, killing 60, and the next one's killing 90.
They're supposed to put this. Oh, spoiler alert! And they're supposed to do it in real games. G-Clef, come on, don't do that against the AI. AI have feelings too.
No, they.
And look, I know everyone was sitting there trying to hope and pray BlossoM will come back in the series. That's what G-Clef and I spent our break doing, was just trying to channel positive energy. But logically speaking, it seems like they might be defeated already. They had a good approach to the game one in terms of the draft. Didn't go so well for them at the end.
Nope.
Their approach to the draft in game two maybe a little bit less solid, but the early game was done correctly. They played very passively. And Black, for about 2 to 3 minutes, I think was a little bit stumbling. And then they were like, oh, what if we just trade better against them and then wait for Master's Touch to come online and then destroy them later? And then they did. So it's got to be a little bit, demotivating for BlossoM right now. They prepared good comps, they prepared good drafts, but it's just not going according to plan.
I think MVP Black against BlossoM today, especially game 2, they've checked one from what they did. Can we do it? Can we pull this off against BlossoM? Check, we did it. And I don't think they can do that to that Tracer, but they've come against L5 or Tempest. I think it'll be a lot harder because basically you needed some disposition on the other side. Pick one every single time, and focus firing 100%, 120% actually on each target. And it's not going to be as easy if you're going against L5 or Tempest. But today I think they made it work. It was the right map, and if you see that kind of team comp, just because you saw HGC Korea, guys, we have to pick the same as MVP Black. No, please do not, because that kind of play requires teamwork, and guys, we are not MVP Black.
No. No, we are not. Otherwise, they'd be up here casting, we'd be sitting in the booth, and we'd be more famous, and we'd be traveling international.
Yes, sir. So, map 3 is Sky Temple.
So this is a normal pick for Black. Obviously, they picked this map a lot. It's their most picked map, actually higher than BOE, and it's where they head when they're ahead in the series and they want to either take the momentum lead. After smashing a team like RRR, BlossoM, Raven, that's where they'll usually take us for game 2. This time it's game 3, and we're just gonna head right into it. BlossoM will have first pick, of course. So this is going to be an opportunity to try to control the global side of things if you're BlossoM with this first ban, because winning in terms of comps with sustain or trying to pick the S tier hero, trying to pick the surprise ETC has unfortunately not really worked out for them so far.
Yep, first bans will be very standard, of course. You can expect that. Wolf, does this bother you? This bothers me all the time. On left for MVP Black, it does not touch the ban.
Oh my god,
one,
yeah.
But BlossoM, on the red sides, it always touched the first ban.
This is one of those mildly infuriating things. Yeah. All right, so it
bothers me all the time.
G-Clef's talking about very suddenly, and it's not that important, but we will ruin
it. Is very important.
Once you see it, you can never unsee the fact that BlossoM's side of the UI almost pokes Tastar in the eye, but MVP Black just doesn't touch the hero portrait. Yeah, I noticed that a few weeks ago, and I've been trying to unsee it. Thanks a lot. You just made me see it again. Okay. So, the Oriole Tastar bans means we're not going to have the crazy sustain battle. Vala definitely less viable here. BlossoM picks Zarya right now. I'm going to be like, well, okay, I think that they have a little bit of a thing going for Zarya right now. They will take the ETC again.
I liked Gondar's ETC play.
It's his best hero.
Yes, other than Stitches, of course, and it has been very defensive use. And if Gondar was not there every single time, the game could have been over much quicker for MVP Black. I think ETC is a great pick for BlossoM right now. But the thing is, the other 4, I don't think they're coming along as well as MVP Black is doing today.
Well, Dahaka's already picked up early, so that's going to be how Black wants to win this one. This is their most picked global on this map this season. It was Falstad before, but now they have Rich who can push hard in the top lane and then come in for fights later. BlossoM is probably not going to pick a global anymore because competing with this is pretty tough. Dahaka is one of the most global heroes in the game. His brush stock trait is only limited to brush, which is everywhere on every map basically, so he's essentially able to go wherever he wants. There's Falstad's a little bit less global, a little bit more restricted by range.
Also activates the passive. You can move a lot quicker after coming out of the bush for the next few seconds, I guess.
Yeah. So I think BlossoM needs to just pick up a DPS here, and the Rhaegar. Well, Uther is also fine, very strong with the ETC. I should have said support more than Rhaegar.
Big. It's Tychus.
So Tychus coming out early. Not entirely sure how I feel about that because we don't know what's going to be on the other side of Enemy Black just yet. And this means that Black can draft around the Tychus. So now Black knows that what's missing for BlossoM is a Soul Laner that can do well against the Haka, so they're going to ban the Malthael. Will we see a Sonya from BlossoM? Probably not. Wiz is known for his Thrall. I think that's almost even more likely. So let's see, though, as they have ban available now. It could just be the safe Rhaegar ban.
I do follow what you're saying, but a lot less chance because I think Rich will be playing the Haka this time as a top lane.
No, I mean for BlossoM, though.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
so
like
they can bring a Sonya.
That's why they ban the Malthael, because they're like, all right, who are you going to play with? Let's limit the pool. Malthael is good in any situation. And now, like, pick the Sonya and pick the Thrall. Interesting, banning the Lucio over the Rhaegar here.
They're scared of the Overwatch comp. D.Va's available, Zarya's available.
The difference between Lucio and Rhaegar in terms of empowering Genji is just like in Overwatch. Genji has a small health pool, so Rhaegar's heals don't affect him as much, whereas Soundbearer is a flat amount of shields that he gains that are burst no matter what. I'm sure they decay quickly, but Lucio can be more impactful for Dragon Blades as a result of that, so I guess that's the idea. Plus the rotational power on this really big map. Rhaegar himself can move very quickly, can camp in the run back, can clear the Siege Giants very quickly, but Lucio will be able to allow everyone on BlossoM to move quickly. So even though they don't have a global per se, could be ETC stage dive, but...
And I think this is a pattern now. Johanna, of course, as you mentioned, to not look at the win rate down there. Whenever the other team, especially both MVP, Miracle, and Black, if there's an ETC on the other side, that's when Johanna comes out with the Blessed Shield, allowing to cancel the Mosh any time later on. Also, Condemned can cancel Mosh Pit pretty easily. I think it's a pattern that we have to keep an eye out there for Black and Miracle especially.
It was banned last game too by BlossoM, so definitely what they're thinking.
0-2 after.
Well,
okay.
That is not what I thought we'd be seeing in the top lane, but okay. Zeratul.
I'm so happy. Solo support. We're back, guys.
I know you're a double support hater. You and Reddit. I actually think all metas are equal and fine. I don't think there's any problems with it. I'm like, buff Ariel. Hashtag buff Ariel.
Please buff Ariel. We need the bursting light back, Kappa.
That should be the new Taiwanese representative for BlizzCon 2018, man. Please buff Ariel.
PBA is back, guys.
PBA is back. Okay. So final pick here, likely to be a secondary DPS. You don't want to run double support for your Genji. Li Ming is a good choice here, I think. Tastar would have been okay, even though it's a weird, awkward DPS, but he's banned, so...
Well, Greymane's still out there, so I think Greymane is a perfect pick. And
works well with Rhaegar.
Once Greymane just does a lot of the damage, really hurts the enemy, then Genji can just swing the blade and get the kill.
It's going to be Li Ming instead.
The best Li Ming, Arcane Li Ming.
This is a MVP Black stylistic choice. I think that Black loves to play it. Solo support means we need a dive DPS and a poke DPS. They were famous for doing Illidan Li Ming for so long, Sonya Li Ming. Now it's the Genji Li Ming, and sure, Genji's not a melee hero, but he's a dive hero, so they need the secondary DPS to be the ranged one that has poke. Also has pretty good siege. Very strong composition for both teams. Zeratul is going to need to gain kills in the early game, though, or I think they will struggle as we head to the late game. It's not an ETC map, it's a big map. Let's go into game number 3 to see if Black can close this one out on Sky Temple. MVP Black reset on Genji, Sake on the main Kyocha, on Rhaegar, Rich on Dahaka, and Tist on Johanna.
And in red, BlossoM, who is on Avatar, Gondar on ETC, Mora on Zeratul, Tutu on Tychus, and No Chat on Luther.
See Wiz working out on that Abathur. He was going to get Abathur, if you know what I'm saying. Doing push-ups, sit-ups, and stuff.
Wolf, you're so funny, and I love you. But
I know that's what everyone's thinking right now. So, this is going to be a tough fight to win with the Abathur only, even with ETC. They went forward to see if they could get a really nice CC lock-in. Didn't happen, so Black will control the Watchtower. And they have the more standard, strong solo laner up there with the Dahaka, so they're in a very happy position, especially because they have better wave clear here in mid right now with Johanna. These are all things, whenever we say things like this, like, oh, they got ahead and this happened, they have better wave clear and things, these are things that you just expect in the early game, so BlossoM is not like, oh man, I can't believe we didn't take the Watchtower. They knew that they were very unlikely to take that. This is just how this comp goes right now. Looking for post 10 to really come online when they get the clone. And Abathur will be able to soak in the late game very well.
A little weird, Avatar is staying in the mid lane, actually pressuring the mid lane a little bit more, because for now, it seems like Black is just doing Gleaming bottom and swapping lane, putting more pressure with Genji on top, because top tempo will be coming out very soon.
Speaking of which, coming up right now, 5 seconds. Zeratul has roamed around a little bit, but mostly he's just been gaining experience in the top lane. He's going to look to try to take control of this Watchtower, but well-timed deflect there will mitigate most of his damage. And it's odd to see Mora on Zeratul, but see if he can make some plays here. Zeratul's a very difficult hero to play. Not really the one he went to on Tempest. Very few games when he was playing under the idea of Modern Life. Gondar is eating this orb damage here, is in some big trouble. And Enemy Black's got both temples controlled.
Yep, and meanwhile, Dahaka has been doing all the shots at top alone.
They actually got the...
Not contested at all.
They got the globe as well here, so they got a little bit of extra heals. Everything is going well for them. Now, Dahaka can come down at any moment. This needs to be BlossoM's moment to retake. They've already lost this phase, but if they can get a kill here, maybe they can make it worth it. Gondar's looking for the pick.
But to score. To strike away. Meanwhile, Avatar is getting some pressure onto the bot lane. No, that's not now even going to be cancelled. With Rhaegar going down and soaking all the EXP. BlossoM actually got the last 5 shots, but look at the level difference already. 1 full and plus more. So,
in terms of temples, when you have a Dahaka, you always want to try to get 120%. So think of the temples as 200% because you get 100. If you trade them directly, even it's 100 to 100. Black just got a 180 to 20 with Dahaka. This is more than they could have ever wanted. They executed it very well. Dahaka got split soak, but gonna look for a pick here onto Tist. He should be able to get out. Don't even think he used his passive. It's totally fine. Oh no.
Game over. Oh, Reset will die. Oh, never mind.
He still has cyber agility, I think.
Survived, and the tower was out of ammo too, I think.
Well, this is a bad situation. The Dragon Claw helped him get that kill. BlossoM losing an Abathur now. It's worth some extra experience. Will remove some of the extra global soak for BlossoM. Look at the top lane. It is not a good situation for BlossoM at this moment in time, as now they're going to lose the top fort. I think he will survive one more minion wave.
Yep, and by the time this camp goes to the top, I think the fort will be gone. And this is the signature move when Black has all the pressure in one lane, especially the top lane. They do 2-man gank, 3-man ganks. I think that's the timing they're looking for. Because it's Zeratul, maybe they're not get the kill because Zeratul can blink away.
It's actually kind of incredible, just watching the minimap as I want to do, how well Rich and Reset understand Zeratul. they are following him without having vision of him, knowing exactly where he would be at any moment. It's crazy how many times Genji is throwing out shurikens trying to find him, knowing exactly where he will be. It's like the Zeratul pick feels like the worst pick ever when you're playing against people who have such good awareness and good understanding of what Zeratul will do. But BlossoM's trying to punish their aggressive attempts to gank Mora, but Reset and Rich do get away, which means that this rotation up with no global potential to get down is going to be so bad for BlossoM.
Mew coming out from Avatar, but sad to see that the snowball has already started for Black, and you will get some value, but once you're losing Fort this easy, I think it's going to lose the value. And because BlossoM only has ETC as their only front line, they need to put out burst. They need to put out maximum damage coming out from Zeratul and Tychus together, but the blinds come in. I think that's the big tool that MVP Black has right now. So they've been winning the 4v4, even with Avatar on the other side.
I mean, it's just crazy to me. Like, everything you say is absolutely correct, and I just want to highlight this again. BlossoM was losing the top lane really hard because of what happened in the first Temple phase, and Dahaka's a global, right? And no one was there to contest him. Zeratul's up there is getting zoned out of experience so badly that he can't, as a cloaked hero, even get experience in the top lane. So he probably is calling to help frustrated, says, I need you guys to come up and gank them. And they have an ETC. They come up, very well hidden, by the way. BlossoM's rotation was not shown in the mid lane. But Black reacts quickly. Both Reset and Rich get away from the gank, while everyone else has already gone to the Temple phase. So the entire 5-man rotation up, or 4-man, I should say. No, Abathur coming up there, is shut down, and they lose bot experience, they lose control of the bot lane, and then Dahaka can just come back bot anyways, doesn't have to, gets the top 4. Black is just playing so brilliantly, and it's tough as a Zeratul player when Black is so good at dealing with you that you need to rotate up, and then you lose control of the map as a result. It's just, I mean, this is a game that I look at, and I very much enjoy how Black is playing it.
Yep. Their experience, this is not the first time they're doing this. Gondar alone needs to be careful when he's focused in. Right now the damage is focused on the keep, and they did get it. But Gondar, if you are focused, I think that cow will get blown up. I think that's the first Zeratul gank attempt.
Just some harassment. Yeah, unfortunate. I mean, it's not his fault, right? Because he's stuck in the top lane, he's getting threatened. He's 1v2ing because they were saying the gank up there. Just get zoned out of experience. It's rough, man. It's been a bad game for BlossoM, but not because of their mistakes, but because of really the intelligent moves that Black has made all game long with the heavy commitment to Dahaka early.
But let's see, BlossoM now, before 13, can they make the... They open the window of chance they have. They have Mosh Pit, Void Prison, they have all the tools. So Black knowing that they're not going to fight for now, because they can just wait for 13, not really lose their own advantage too much.
Sake missed that orb. He's going to be feel embarrassed about when he watches the VOD.
Sake will be happy when KT comes along.
Oh, he certainly will.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure he has probably already played like 1,000 games of him. Not including PTR. Like, Sig came out yesterday. I'm like, yeah, no, he's played 1,000 games. Well, now this is going to be the most temple of value that BlossoM's gotten all game long. We'll get about 30% currently of theirs. Black is rotating in. Another missed orb. People say I don't criticize MVP Black. Sake does get Sunny. Here's a mosh
pit connection. Oh, canceled right away.
Canceled immediately by Blessed Shield. The Ancestral was good. Wiz's clone is gone. And now look at Reset's Dragon Blade. He's doing the Dragon Dance. That's going to be another reset for him, no pun intended. And this will be a team wipe. Divine Shield will delay the inevitable, but Dudu will go down. Reset survives, and that is going to be very likely the path to the core here. They can simply... Wiz is like, oh, he's coming for me. They can simply take the mid keep down if they want to play safe, then send somebody to... Yep, Dahaka goes to the temple. So they're just going to look for the keep. They're not going to walk towards core. The death timers are too short, and they used all their heroics in that fight. Blessed Shield was the first one to use to interrupt the mosh. So I guess the idea here is play it safe. The Mule going to try to buy time here. A bit
destroyed.
Yeah, a little bit preemptive there, perhaps, that Mule. Although the Korean observer's just like, well, we're just going to watch it and be sad for a second. Like oh boy, G-Glove, this has been not the series that we were excited to watch, sadly. Really thought we would see a lot of really cool decision-making out of BlossoM. Has been so innovative in draft for so long.
I think I do follow Divine Shield on Odin, which because Odin has to do a lot of damage in order to win the team fight. But I think maybe having the Divine Shield on ETC can be a better choice. They're making it impossible to actually stop the mosh from happening when I think Gondar has a very good angle, trapping at least 2 or maybe even 3 later on with the mosh pit. Next time, 4 levels apart.
10
Can
seconds.
They do it?
He doesn't have it
He's
yet.
looking for the angle.
He wants it. He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it
trying to
available.
catch Sake, but they've extended a little bit, and Taika's still a long way to come.
Blessed Shield has been used, but he's not in position to get the mosh anymore. The Void was really well done, but it's not going to be enough to stop the onslaught here. And Divine Shield too early. Wiz is going to just be mostly ignored here by Black as they kite back, waiting for him to expire. Rich misses the tongue grab, unfortunately for him. But Wiz's clone is going to just now expire, and now there's just no way for BlossoM to reasonably engage on this. There's nothing to punish, and in fact, they might get punished themselves. Ondar does have that Mosh.
But that's the only thing they have right now. Black can just pressure in their 16. They have Dragon Blade Ancestral available. They're just in the camp and try to get this keep right after, it seems like.
I wonder if actually trying to use ETC as their solo laner against this comp could have been better if they went for stage dive, because, oh man, this is going to be the saddest ever.
Man, mosh pit, clinch right away.
Stunned yourself, might want to cancel that one. Dragon Blade's going to get damage done here.
Oh my.
So many interrupts for Mosh. They have
the
cleanse.
Comes down, is that going to be enough? No! They're not even going to care. They're going for core, guys.
All right, they're going to go for the core. That's going to be game. But yeah, I feel like the Mosh was just never really ever going to be that great when you have Blessed Shield, Wave of Force, Condemn, Cleanse.
Well, the level gap was way too big by minute 9. I think the pressure was really there for all the players for BlossoM, and that will be the end of the series.
There you go. MVP Black going to take the 3-0 here. Another sweep for them. Not going to drop any games tonight, as BlossoM will have to rethink their ETC prioritization and a lot of the other choices they made in draft. The Zeratul felt like a relic of the past, of a different meta. Just simply did not work, and Black punished that Zeratul hard. That's how the game started to go downhill. They lost the first Temple phase right before that massively. It was 180 to 20, basically, in terms of shots fired. And MVP Black can be very happy with their win today, and also know that they didn't show anything for further matches. Keep in mind that you know, they only have 2 this week, and then this is everything they do doesn't matter because it's going to be a totally different patch for the future.
Yeah, that's going to be correct. I think the biggest problem, as you mentioned, is focusing ETC too much. Maybe Gondar's hero pool has been coming in because right now Stitches can't be really first pick material, so ETC, because of the win rate, the cool showing of the mosh pit last weekend we saw, I think that was their idea. But focusing ETC, I think that costed them really big. Giving up Ariel in game number 1, I was surprised to see that draft. Maybe they'll work on improve a little bit more in their drafting. We saw that we told you guys that they also changed the shot calling for the drafter for the team. Maybe they're trying to work things out. Maybe they will play a little bit better starting from the draft next time.
Yeah, so I mean, that is realistically, I think that they didn't get what they wanted. They came prepared, and that was the one thing that I really felt in game 1 and a little bit in game 2 is they're very prepared for what Black was going to throw at them. And when they had the opportunity to second pick Zarya, Vala, they did it really well against the Ariel pick. They baited that out, but still couldn't just execute everything they wanted to do very well. The same thing happened on BOE. And then in the third game, the Zeratul pick, I think, the third game was the one where I look at the draft and go, maybe want to rethink this one. This is not one I could really make a huge argument for. That's the kind of draft where you look at it and you go, well, if you play well enough and use the Zeratul well enough and have a strong top laner up there and switch the lanes and have Zeratul getting picks or at least threatening picks, I could make a case for this draft. But with what we saw, I don't think you can. MVP for tonight might be Reset. I don't know. Sake played very well as well. I mean, there wasn't anything crazy in the drafts for MV Black. I mean, Rich played Medivh. That was really well done. You could make a case for that.
Rich was up there last time, and he got his Illidan figure, so Maybe Tist this time?
I mean, you could really pick any of them tonight. It's just a solid team effort, man.
Their coordination was off the charts today, and BlossoM was having trouble against them team fighting because of their coordination. But you heard the sound. It's about time. We'll see who is on the desk along with the Screencasters.
리치 선수 나왔습니다.
리치.
MVP의 아들. 와.
겐지.
MVP에서 이 엄청난 그 피지컬의 소유자. 그리고 거의 뭐 겐지만 잡아주면 그 용검으로 다 썰어서 상대를
Mechanics are
베는
out of this world.
에이스.
Your Dragon
네,
Blade
오늘
is
나와주셨는데.
insane,
승리
just
소감 한번
slashing every enemy.
오늘은 좀 이번 주 다음 주부터 패치가 바뀌다 보니까
Well, today, but
오늘은 그냥
Actually,
평소에 그냥 쓰던
because of the patch, the changes, the patch will be different next week. We just played what we used to do.
겐지 열렸으니까 가져와가지고 이제
네.
용검 아까 전에 그 1인 용검 상당히 인상적이었거든요.
And
그 검자랑.
The one-man
와, 그
Dragon
내검
Blade
정말
against
길다.
Tyrael, that was
그래도
very
나중에
impressive.
놓쳤죠?
It was
그런
like
경우가 있었는데
you're showing off your
워낙에
blade.
차이가 좀 많이 났었고 워낙에 유리한 상황으로 경기 좀 이어나가다 보니까 MVP 플렉이 강한 자신감으로 좀 똘똘 뭉친 것 같고 이 기세로라면 블리즈컨 1위로 올라가고 블리즈컨 통일하면서
And with this rate, can you go to BlizzCon as the
네.
first, and can you
무슨
conquer
팀도 없잖아요.
BlizzCon?
네.
예, 유럽 팀들도 뭐 그때 당시에
네.
미드신 난투에서는 좀 강력한 포지션이 보여줬는데 지금은 뭐 F5
Even European teams, he was very strong in mid-season brawl.
리치 선수 생각, 리사 선수 생각.
큰
But
실수하신
how,
것
how
같아요.
do you how do you think about the other teams coming along when you go to BlizzCon?
저희도 사실 뭐 유럽 1위라는 프나틱은 저번에도 말했지만 한번 이겨봤어요.
그렇죠.
I think Fnatic,
그래서
they're number one, but we
주기만
did beat them
조금
last time.
잘한다면은 유럽 정도는 저희가 이기고 1등으로 올라갈 수 있지 않을까
예.
싶어요.
I think Europe,
그렇다면 사실
they're
뭐
an okay-
두렵지 않다면
okay
L5를
enemy out there, but I think
좀
we can
더
defeat them and
생각을
become
해보는 건가요?
L5.
and get the first
저희가
place.
이번에는 한번 저번에 결승에서 져가지고
And L5,
이번에는 이기려고
I think they're
진짜
the
많이
biggest
연습하고
competitor
있어요.
right now.
많이
We
연습하고
lost
있어요.
against them
어떤
last time
부분을
in Eastern
중점적으로
Clash.
연습하고 있나요?
일단 여러 조합을 많이 찾아보고 있는데
We're looking for a lot of different variety of team comps
진짜 많이 연습하고
to prepare
다음 주
against
패치가
L5.
바뀌니까 그때부터
The
이제
patch will be
새로운
different.
패치로 바뀌는 메타를 저희가
I think
빨리
it's
찾아서
our mission to
네.
find and understand the new meta as soon as possible,
갖추고
그렇죠.
엘파 상대로
to be prepared.
모습을 보여드리고 싶어요.
And I think by the
사실
time
뭐
we
새로운
faced
메타를
against
찾고
L5,
다양한 영웅을
we should be
찾는 데
prepared
있어서 새로운
all right in the new
시도하는 게
patch.
쉽지 않잖아요.
그렇죠,
뭐 연습에서나 사실 잘 쓰면
I'm very
많이
excited
이기면
for that
좋지만
myself.
실패를 하거나 패배를 했을 때는 분위기가 좀 쌓여진다거나 사실 이런 부분이 있잖아요.
네.
네, 그럴 때는 좀 분위기를 어떻게
how's the atmosphere when you guys
어,
sometimes
이렇게
drop a map? How do you
어,
try to change the
그럴
atmosphere in the
때는
team?
그 뭐지? 뱀픽 단계에서 우리가 여기서 이걸 뽑지 말고 차라리 여기서 이걸 뽑았으면 더 좋았을 것 같다. 이런 식으로 그냥
We give feedbacks
아쉬운
like
부분이
even
아쉽게
starting from the draft. Maybe if we didn't pick this one and picked
누가
something else,
피드백을
it could have
가장
been better. So we give feedbacks to
피드백은
start changing the atmosphere.
뱀픽을 저희가 팀 내에서 2명이 하고 있어가지고
네.
Right now,
그 2명이 그냥 서로 그냥 뱀픽을 좀 조율하는
we have two
지금
players
뱀픽을
who's doing
어떤 선수가
bans and
하고 있죠?
picks.
뱀픽은 지금 저랑 리치 선수가 같이 하고 있어요.
Myself and
리쌍이
Rich,
같이-
we are doing the ban
리쌍이
picks
같이
together
한다.
every single
누가
time.
더 잘하는 것 같아요.
솔직히
Who do you think is better between the two of you?
솔직히 진짜
승률이나
Be honest. You're in front of a camera.
정말
Who's better?
객관적으로.
Reset.
뱀픽은 반반인 것 같은데
I think it's half and half. For bans and picks.
시즌에서는 지고 있을 때 제가 뱀픽 해가지고 나머지는 다 이겼거든요.
야,
When we were losing, whenever I did the ban picks, we won everything.
그래가 지고 난 이후에 이제 뱀픽을 가지고 와서 다 이겼다.
다 이겼다.
와, 정말
그러니까
And
대단한데?
after he's
누가
saying
봐도 리치보다
whenever
좀
Rich
상대가
did the
낫다.
ban
네.
picks
뭐 이렇게도
and
볼 수 있는
lost,
우와.
Reset started doing the ban picks and won
결과가
everything.
말해주는 거니까.
So
오늘
we
MVP
can conclude at that.
이거는 상품이 있어요, MVP.
It's very
선물이에요.
conclusive.
앞에 되게 많잖아요, 이런 선물들. 진짜 고를 수
Full
있는
evidence.
거예요.
일단
그리고 하나 더 있습니다. 아바토르 인터뷰가 좀 있거든요.
Yeah, we have an
신영웅
upcoming
캐투자대에 대한 간단한 평가와
avatar
함께
interview.
앞으로 이 리그에서 얼마나 선택될지 그 가능성을
How much KT Kel'Thuzad do you think we're gonna see in competitive?
좀 많이 강력한 상태로 나온 것 같아요.
I think Kel'Thuzad is
손을 좀 많이 타긴
very
하는데
OP right now.
이게 아마 이번
The mechanics are
멘탈을 좀
needed.
변화시킬 수 있는 그런 영웅이 아닌가 싶어요.
But I think he is a hero that can change a lot in competitive scene.
그만큼 가치가 있는 영웅이다라는 말씀이시죠.
네, 그렇죠.
이제 켈투자드
Ask
얘기가
you about
나와서 궁금한
Jaina.
게 한 가지가 있는데 사실 굉장히 어렵게 나왔어요. 그 어려운 만큼 굉장히 강하기도 하고.
As Kel'Thuzad is not the easiest hero to actually play, but
어떤 선수가
very
주력으로
rewarding
쓸
with the damage.
것인지.
Which player from MVP Black is
뭐
considering
약간
playing
어렵다라는
Kel'Thuzad
가정하에는
though?
리셋이 쓸 수도 있다라는 얘기가 나오고 있거든요.
Are you?
어렵다고 말씀해 주시는
Lots of people actually saying
네,
reset
피지컬하면
may
뭐
play
리셋이니까.
KT as you're the mechanical
근데
player.
저희 사케 형이 그래도
But our
그
Sake-
스킬샷 위주의 그 영웅들은 리밍 같은 그런 영웅들은 좀 잘하기 때문에
It's a lot of like Leeming.
굳이 저가 안 되더라도
lot of those
사케 형은
mages-
잘 다룰 수 있을 것
굳이
같아요.
He's the
리셋이
one
아니더라도
that-
이제 다른 선수들
He's the one that
하고,
uses lots of
리셋을
mage
이제 하고
heroes.
싶어 하고.
So it doesn't have to be
그럼
me,
역시
but I think Sake is
에이스는
looking forward
자,
to play
이렇게 해서 오늘
KT.
축하드리는데요. 받고 싶은 선물이 있습니까?
바꿔 싶은
여러
선물이요?
영웅들이 있어요.
And there
아서스가
are-
있고요.
You don't see it on screen, but there are lots of prizes
프로비우스가 있고.
in front of them right now.
그리고,
Reset is
다양한
trying to
여러 가지
choose
되게
one.
큰게 있고. 큰 건 저희도 안 열어봤거든요. 어떤 걸
Oh, you should pick the
원하시는지
toilet paper.
저희가 드리겠습니다. 큰거 원하세요?
원래 선물은
큰거 한번
큰 거.
큰 거.
예,
It's a big
큰
one.
거.
이거는
Oh,
not
it's a
know which
mystery.
one.
랜덤이에요.
Mystery
랜덤
box. What
예,
is
이거를
it?
직접,
Definitely not toilet paper.
열어서
뭘까요?
이게
What is it?
뭐죠, 이게? 잠깐만요.
한번 열어주세요.
예, 워낙에 피지컬이 좋으니까 이거 열어주세요.
네.
저희 이건 피지컬이
Reset, try opening that. It's kind of tangled.
저희가 확인을 미리 한
That's
게
cool.
아니라
Castor Park's like, yeah, I mean, like, I can't do it, so, like, can you open it? He's like, it's your present, man. Like, it's not my fault. Like,
Try to untie this.
제가 한번
Because you have the mechanics, you know.
박상현
와!
live stream fails. Oh, he did
Ah,
it. He
Castor
knew it all
Park.
along. He knew it all along.
Castle Park is OP.
와! 누더기.
Oh, it's Stitches.
That's cute,
Whoa.
actually.
와.
우와.
안 좋아하는
That looks
Center
like,
that
that actually
belly.
looks like King.
혹시 이거 대신
That
저를
looks
데려가는
very
거 어때요?
similar to King.
숙소에.
예,
그것도
숙소에.
괜찮을 것
어,
같아요.
괜찮아요?
이거 데려가실래요?
저 데려가실래요?
야, 신장군.
Do you wanna take me instead?
해설을 이 친구를 시키고
식비가 연봉처럼 나올 거예요. 괜찮아요?
He will
네.
eat your
굉장히 팀에
bank
많은
account.
도움을 줄수 있습니다.
예, 어우.
네.
축하드립니다. 이거 가져가실래? 괜찮아요?
네.
예, 알겠습니다.
그럼요.
축하드리고 앞으로도 좋은 모습 기대하겠습니다.
네,
예.
감사합니다.
And
네,
congrats
오늘
resets
첫 번째
for
경기
MVP
결과
tonight, and
정리해드리겠습니다.
that's the end of the interview.
It's a prophecy. We'll be seeing more Stitches in the next series.
They wanted to put Stitches instead of King. That's funny stuff. But result as BlossoM. Let's put it this way: they got wrecked tonight for him, and that was not a close series for overall. But we have a next match coming up on the screen very soon, and this one will be a close one.
Definitely will be a close one. It's going to be Raven and RRR, second match of the night. I don't want to delve too deep into it just yet, as it will be where we are headed to in just a moment. And so, should be a close one. Raven won when they played off against each other in promotions, when they played off against each other in the first match of part 2 here, or sorry, phase 2. It was RRR who won. So, who's going to win the third time they face off against each other? That's what's going to be decided tonight. It will be the last time they face off against each other this year, as neither of them will be going to playoffs. So this is going to be an exciting match to basically determine the bottom of our bracket. So a lot of history between these two teams in HGC, and it's going to be a fun one. I'd say is probably the best way to describe it.
I think this is the best one since MVP Black versus L5. In the other way, but who will be the bottom team? We'll find out after a longer commercial break, about 10 minutes, guys. So do not go to sleep, but keep tuning into this channel, and we'll be back in 10-ish.
See you in a decade.